what I wanted to do was just get in my head where the giants and so on are mentioned in the Bible, and even based on some of the discussion we've just had, I think there's a couple of things maybe not 100% right on my slides even. Okay, so one of the things I don't think I've got right, based on what John was just saying, is I've got their Nephilim giants mentioned. I should have just left it as Nephilim. I've made an inference right there and then. So obviously they were destroyed in the global flood, and Ham and Noah weren't. So they've obviously existed at the time the Nephilim were pre-flood. We're told that Ham had a number of children after the flood, and I'll just make sure I can click that down. There we go. Canaan was one of them. We're also told that the Rephaites lived in Canaan, and these were associated with the giants, but we're not given any specific link that the Rephaites that I can find were specifically descendants of Canaan, but it's inferred, and they can be assumed to be descendants of Canaan because they were certainly living in the area of Canaan. And they occurred right through to the time of Moses and Joshua and the conquests of the Promised Land. So we've introduced to Arba. So Abraham's wife Sarah was buried in Kiriath Arba, which is the city of Arba. The actual dates are fairly approximate here, but Arba is the ancestor of Anak, and the Anakites are referred to during the conquests of Canaan as giants. So they're in that vicinity there somewhere. As we go along, it's likely that the Anakite giants are in fact the Nephilim. In fact, they're referred to as that in Numbers 13, where it says, "We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim." Okay, so we do have a line of people, Arba, Anak, and then in fact Caleb was given the area and took over the area of some of Anak's sons. Now, I think that this instance where Caleb has taken out Anak's sons, they can't be his direct sons. They're probably descendants of Anak, because we're going from Abraham right through to Joshua and Caleb, which is a period of 400 to 500 years. And so that's a long period for Anak and his sons to live. So I think that it's sort of probably referring to descendants of. So what we're actually seeing here is a line of people breeding that are referred to as Nephilim, which is quite interesting itself. King Og isn't regarded necessarily as an Anakite. He was taken out by Moses before they entered, across the Jordan, and he's referred to as having a bed in the order of 13 feet. So we're definitely talking about giants here. In the conquest of the Promised Land, it talks about all of the Anakites being destroyed by the Israelites, except in areas such as Gaza and Gath and so on. And that's actually where the last of the giants that we come across in the Bible is referred to. Goliath is from Gath, and he had some brothers that were likely giants as well. And that's basically the last mention of the biblical giants that we've got. So that just helped me a little bit putting that together. Maybe it's helped a couple out there just to get a bit of a picture of where giants are mentioned and landed in the Old Testament.